What's going on, guys? Estabel MMA back with another archive video here as a blue belt 2017 Manila Open IBJJF tournament absolute first round. Here you see I'm able to get 2 points for the takedown. So as I start to work and pass, when it gets to tournaments and the absolute division, you got to remember a lot of tournaments you have to win your division to get into the absolute. So you're going to be facing, the best of the best within that tournament. This guy was no different. He was a tough opponent. He was a smaller guy, but definitely made me work for everything I got here. He liked lasso and spider guard. Here you see he's able to pull me into his closed guard, and then the ref resets us. So as we get reset here, where I'm in his closed guard, and this was actually the first time I really started to learn and work the Sao Paulo pass, which is you'll see me working it a lot in these videos when it comes to the Manila Open. It was a pass I had been working a lot at the time, and I used it. I have what I call my perfect match, essentially kind of mapped out into my head, which I'll kind of show you guys what it is, what it looks like. But with involved in that was passing the guard with the Sao Paulo pass, moving to a mountain and getting submission. But here, every time I would work to try to pass, this guy would reset me in his guard, and he definitely had a good guard. Obviously, because I had the size advantage, he was doing things like using lapel grips. Here you see he's trying to keep my posture down with the lapel, and I'm just trying to break out here and then work to pass. Here I start to pass, and then he's kind of moving out off the mats to try to give himself some time and obviously some space so he can reset his guard. So here the ref resets us again. We get going. So I'm in his close guard again, and I'm just working on breaking out. And again, in this day, I ended up having I want to say 9 matches overall. And by the end of it, my knees were shot because I had scabbed them off using the Sao Paulo pass all day. And see here I'm working for my knees a lot, and within the gi and the humidity, I was scabbing my knees in this tournament. But here I start to open his guard a little bit, start to come out and to work, try to pass. He tries to get up. I want to keep him down, and then he starts to get lapel grips because he wants to work the spider guard again. So I, instead of staying down, what I start to do here is I end up standing up and I kind of swing him to get the hands off, and then the ref resets us. So as we get going, I come back down. He's pushing the arm back, but here I use that as a means to try to pass. So here I'm past the legs. My foot's caught in his foot is caught inside of my lapel, and that kind of assists him. But then I'm working to pass the guard. So here I'm to his hips, but I need to gain control. He does a good job of just scooching out and then ending up in close guard again, and then the ref resets us one more time. So here again, he made me work for every single point I got in this round. So here I'm using heavy pressure, tight to his body. One tip that I have, which I've shown you guys in the Sao Paulo pass in my 1 minute technique, which is controlling the arm when you're working the pass. Here I was doing a lot of lapel control when I was trying to do the Sao Paulo pass, but if I was able to control the arm, it would have definitely been a lot easier to pass. So here the ref is kind of adjusting because our gis were kind of caught up a little bit. So as we get going, he was definitely trying to keep my posture down and trying to keep me at his guard. Remember, I have a 2 point advantage, so really I'm taking my time with working through passing his guard. Here you see I'm breaking the guard again. I've got a control of his lapel, but again, controlling the arm would have been a much better way to go about it. Here you see my ass is hanging out also, which is something that's going to happen from time to time when it comes to rolling and being in tournaments, because you're pulling and tugging on each other's clothes. Things like this are going to happen. So here I get control of his belt, and I work to try to pass here. I know, again, he wants to use that as an opportunity to try to get the spider guard grips. Seem to be pretty good with the spider guard. But here I've kind of trapped his legs. Now from here I'm very tight to him. So, and then he starts to try to create a little bit of space. But right as he does that, I come, and then he tries to get some kind of submission, but he doesn't really have control there. So for me, I get my hips tight to him. Here he's trying to push away again, so I start to pop up. I get my knee through, and then as I get my knee through, I'm using that as a means to control him. He's got the grips, and instead of focusing on the grips, I was still kind of powering through at this point. because I wasn't tired. My cardio was definitely good, and then I definitely had the strength advantage, so I wasn't as much worried about grip there. You see, I'm able to get the another takedown, and then I get I throw him down into side control, and so from here, the ref ends up resetting us one more time. So as we reset, I have a comfortable 5 point lead, which is just enough to, especially when the person isn't able to do much against you. So here I'm placing heavy shoulder pressure, and then I'm trying to use that as a means to get submission. But he did a good job of alleviating that pressure. You see, he's kind of pulling at the pant leg to kind of take some of the pressure off, and then he's got that leg up, trying to make sure that I don't pop up. So here I wanted to use that as an opportunity to try to pop up on top, and then I actually get called for stalling. But I thought the ref stopped us. So this is a pretty funny moment here. The match was still going. So at this point, he could have gotten up, but I don't think either of us realized what was going on. So we keep going, and then so from here, I think there's not a lot of time left. So here he ends up pulling me back into his closed guard, and I think there's maybe another 30 seconds left in the match, and I got it pretty comfortably in hand. And so again, I just start working the Sao Paulo pass, I believe. So here he opens his legs up, and then I'm just okay with working or trying to pass to the other side, because I know, again, I've got the point advantage, and he wasn't really threatening many sweeps or any takedowns in that, and then the match ends up ending. So I ended up getting the win here. Overall, in the absolute division, I ended up taking second, and you'll see the next few matches I go through to get to the final round. Thanks again for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Thanks.